Yes, sir.
Okay, so we resume the second session. We continue here, question 5, the pseudo code for checking if one character of a password is capital or not. So we said that our string is A, B, Z, 1. Okay, now tell me please, what I am doing in this line again?
You are searching the SQ value for that character.
Okay, so this character is starting, if for the first time that the loop run, it will be which character?
For the first time, A.
Okay, and okay, good. So if it is A in that case, okay, and what this if statement will do?
Uh, then it will declare it as true if they found the capital letter A.
Okay, good. And what this line will do?
Then they'll they'll return it as found. They'll say it's found.
Okay,
So
whatever inside, what is inside found?
found means that it's not there. It's false.
No, wait. Wait. I put what in found?
Or true.
Okay, and I define found as Boolean, right?
Yeah.
And I put the return of the function. Actually, I supposed to write here return. So that function actually return a Boolean. Okay, so I put here return, sorry. So I put here return found. So it will return a Boolean value. Whatever inside found will be returned. I initialize found as false as a start. And because I found the capital letter, so I return. So we already said I only want to check that the password have only one capital. If I found it, I no need to continue searching the remaining of the password. That's why I put return here. Okay. So if we don't find, so what can we return? If we don't find the password, if we search it all the string here, the password string, and we cannot find any capital letter, what should we return?
It shows next I. That means you move on to the next next requirement. That means the
Wait. Okay. So this function that we defining here, got capital, it should return a Boolean. The Boolean can be true or false.
okay.
Okay. So true when if it can find a capital letter inside the password, and it will return false if it cannot find anything, any capital letter inside the password. Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. We start searching before we do the for loop. We start before here, we start with the found equal false. Okay. So if you never find any capital letter, this means that you will never be able to run inside if statement. It means that you will return found here after you exit the for loop, and the found here, it will be the same value that is given here. Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, Joy, I'm not going to solve as other two functions. You need to create another two functions. The second function that you need to check, you check a lowercase. You need to make it a function. It should be similar to that with a slight modifications. Okay, I need you to understand it. Okay. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, you continue the remaining of the requirement, but you should now know the basics of it. Okay. Now let me check. Okay. Yeah. So you will continue doing the remaining of question 4 and question 5, because I only do here in question 5 also, I didn't do everything. I only do one function, one procedure, and you're supposed to create actually a few more procedures, because for every variable declared here inside the composite, you should declare a procedure that should take an input from the user and assign it here inside the composite. So what we have done here is that part, so that you don't need to do that anymore. But you need to do for the vehicle ID, you need to take an input from the user and need to fill in whatever inside the car record, same like I have done here. Okay, Joy?
Yeah.
Do you follow up with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Joy, we will stop here, but we will still continue the exercises, because there is still need to have more comments here actually. So, okay, let me open. Okay, the question, can you see my screen? Not yet.
Yeah, can.
Okay, now question 1 is okay, it's fine. It's just basic thing, and I think also odd and even, I think you, okay, just a slight mistake. So the slight mistake here, actually, okay, the function takes something. You define odd or even. That's great and fine. But I want to ask you here, how did you manage to run actually that? You already define a function, but you never call it. Did you call it? Okay. That's why you never know the mistake. And next time you should try to call the function and test it, so that you know, because in the exam you have to pass them a working function. So okay, listen to me here. What is that integer? What is that and what is that?
Yeah. It should
Tell me what is the issue. Yeah, okay. Where you should put the number?
In the integer place.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so you already know the slide thing. But the trick, actually, the trick was already here. This is the main trick. But yeah. Okay, we move to the next. Okay. So question 2, actually, it is slightly surprising to me, because we have done something similar. And okay, I want you to look again here. Can you read the question with me? Read it for me, please.
Write a program code to read the content of the file high score and store them in a 2D array in the following manner. Create a 2D array of 2 columns, and the number of rows should match the number record in the high score file. Read the high score file content line by line, then store each student name and score in one row of the 2D array.
Okay. First, what did you understand from A?
Create an array, a 2D array, with 2 columns. What rows should match, and how many rows according to the number of records in the high score file.
Okay, so it means that the columns is 2, right? You have 2 columns. Previously, what you have shown to me here in the result, that is exactly what we have done in the previous exercise. It means that one row have the names, the second row have the scores. It's fine. But now we are asking something different. I'm asking you that I don't want anymore to have 2 rows. I want to have many rows, but I only want to have 2 columns. 2 columns only. One column for the name and the second column for the score. So No names and scores this way anymore. So you see, I give you the example here. Column 0 should have the name. Column 1 should have the score. So if we go here, you will find that, okay, that is the first line, and that's the second line. Second line, so second line has the score. First line has the name. So that's what we want to do.
Okay.
Am I right? No, we are somewhere different. Sorry. Yeah, here. So, okay. And how you get the number of rows? So the number of rows, actually, if you check, let me see. If you check exercise 3, I think I have done something for you here. So we are able to, when we do that, we can get how many lines inside the file. That function, if you memorize it, it will get you the number of lines inside. It will read all the file, and it will count for you the number of lines inside the file, and it will return it back to you. So, okay, by knowing the number of lines inside the file, you are able to create a 2D array because you already know how many rows inside the file. The rows inside the file, see what I said? The rows, the number of rows should match the number of records inside the text file. If you know how many lines, then you know how many rows that you need to create. And based on that, you're able to create your array, your 2D array. You created the 2D array in the same manner that we have done last time. It should be columns 2, and the rows should be based on what we get from the from here. Read height score, and after you read, so you get the length. Actually, we can say row count, and you can see, you can put here row count. Okay. Okay, good. Maybe we don't need that anymore. Can we try to run and see? So now tell me what changes that we need to do here in that code. So now we know we have 2 columns. And whatever amount of rows, we don't know yet. It depends on whatever inside the text file. So, okay. Now, tell me, actually, that line last time, it do what?
It reads the content of the high score file.
It read only one line. One line.
Yeah.
Okay. And it store it where? So, okay.
In 2D.
This is our 2D array. Okay. This is column 0, and this is column 1. And this is the columns here. And here is the rows. We start from 0, 1, 2, until the end of the file. Okay. Here we put the name. Here we put the score. We put S like that. Is it fine like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me what modification we need to do to be able to run here. Because that one is actually going to store whatever we read in only the columns, because this loops only through the columns. We want something to loop through the whole rows, because for every row, we need to get to read the name and the score, and then we move to the next row. We need the name, read the name and the score. Then we move to the next row, read name and score. So how to do that? Okay, I want you to change this loop change this loop to me so that it loops through the rows instead of the columns. Now it is looping through the columns. I want it to loop through the rows. How to do that? We start with the first change. I want to change that for loop.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Yes, we can run. Okay, I want you to read that error.
Name rows. Oh, okay. From the earlier. Oh, is it without the S? No.
So read the error first. What the error saying?
Row is not defined.
Okay. So from where you get the row?
Okay.
So last time before you change, it was columns, right? So columns was defined and it have a value. Now, where is row? Where is row defined here in this code?
It's not defined.
It's not defined. Okay. But did you know how many rows that you have?
According to the file.
Okay, the number of lines inside the file, right?
Yeah.
And where in this code we read the number of lines inside the file? Where? Here.
The row count. Okay.
Good. Okay. Can we run? Okay. Now we have a different error. Tell me.
This assignment index out of range.
Okay. Do you know why?
No, not of now.
So okay, the first time we run, what will be the value of R?
0.
Okay, so when we have 0, when R equals 0, what will be the values of the columns? We don't have anything that can tell us what column number. We only have 2 columns, 0 and 1, right? We don't have anything here that can tell us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the first line you read from inside the score is the name, right?
Yep.
Okay, where you want to store it here? So you are at row 0. Where do you want to store?
The first column.
First column, right? What is the number of the first column?
0. Column 0.
Okay, so when we want to access, so the 2D array, you always reference the row first, after this between square brackets, and the second square brackets refers to the column. So if you want to insert something in the first column, so how are you going to do that? So you are at row 0. Who decide the row? R. Who decide the column? Is you. The first square bracket refers to the row. The second square bracket refers to the column. So do it accordingly.
Okay.
Change it according to that. Okay. Yes, what you have done, it runs, but it doesn't produce the output. But I want you to think. Okay. First, what you're trying to do here every time r change the value, first r will become 0, right? It will come 0, right? So we will run this two lines of code. We will read something from the file. We will store it at the position 0, 0, which is this. Okay. And when r equal 1, okay, nothing will change here. We will also still read the third line. Okay. Okay. Try to run maybe, yes, and see. Okay.
Wait.
Perfect.
Okay.
So you think now is correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a slight thing that we can do to improve so that we don't have to keep reserve empty spaces here, but it's not a big deal. So if you count, we have how many records? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is 3 empty, just because we didn't we divide the row count by half, but that's totally fine. At least you're able to assign the thing in the correct manner. First column have name, second have score. Okay, does this make any sense? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the most important you understand, because if you memorize it, they change something in the exam and you are gone. Okay, so now let us try to resume our lesson. Let me see. Okay, I will share with you. I forgot. Sorry. You still have another issue here. Sorry, I forgot that. Actually, but I will not. I mean, I don't want to put more time here, but I think you need to revise. The code here, and this code is actually not 100% correct, because we said before in the queue you have two pointer, one pointing to the head here, head pointer, and we have a tail pointer. Okay, but then your queue is actually of a fixed size. It's not like that. And then what you need to pass here could be the array size. One possibility is you just pass array size, but what you are passing here in the constructor, you are passing something that you not even use to assign inside a variable. So that is actually not used anywhere. Where did you use it? You pass them as a parameter, but they are not here. You're not storing them inside a variable. Okay. So I will go through the queue again, and based on that, you try to revise your code. I don't want to waste the whole session just talking only about the exercise. We need to progress more. Okay. So please, I will explain that, but then you will revise the exercise. Is that fine to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I am forced to talk about circular queues then. Okay. Yeah. No choice. So, yeah. last time we talked about linear queue, and we didn't talk about the circular queue. So we said that the queue is working on a FIFO way. FIFO means first in, first out. Okay, so if we talk about first in, first out, can you remember we have a front pointer and we have a rear pointer? Okay, so and we have a fixed queue size. It means that the array is created with a fixed size. You create it with 10, it will remain 10. It will never increase. So the linear queue works in a way, okay, when you want to add something, you add it to the end here. Let me see. So you add here to the end. When you want to pop something, when you want to take something out of the array or the queue, you take it from the front. When you take something from the front, then you shift the front pointer to put it to point to the next. If you want to add, you have to check the rear pointer here is pointing to the maximum of the array, to the maximum length of the array or not. If it's pointing to the maximum, you cannot add anymore. You already reached the limit of the queue. You cannot add. This is only in the linear queue. Okay. So again, if you find the front pointer is not pointing to 0, if it is -1, it means that the array is empty. You cannot take out anything from the array. If you have a queue that is empty, what can you take out? Nothing. Okay. So again, that is how the linear queue looks like. But the circular queue looks like something different than that. So let me see. Okay, yeah. So circular queue works in a way that even if you reach the end of the queue with the rear pointer, you don't always check, because what happened is in the linear queue, you might have empty spaces here. Okay, but the rear pointer will be only pointing to the last element in the linear queue. So you always, in your if condition, you will be always in the linear queue checking where is the rear pointer. If it is pointing towards the end, you said, oh, it's not empty. Sorry, it is full and I cannot add anything, even if you have empty spaces here. So that's why they come out with the concept of circular queue. Circular queue means that if the front pointer already remove that 2 items and is moving towards here and leaving empty spaces here in the queue, he allow you to add new entries inside. And then when you add, the rear pointer will have to point to the last thing that you already inserted inside the queue. Is this complicated matter? Does this make any sense to you? Or it's okay? So it means that also we have to, the code that we wrote last time, we have to change it. It will not be the same anymore. So that is actually an exam question. This come in the exam, that he asks us to make a circular queue because it's definitely more efficient. With a no, let me go back to the code before I show you other things. So you see now the code here. Let me refresh you back, since you couldn't remember it perfectly. Can you look at, I want you to tell me, we close this session and we continue again the next session with the linear queue. Okay.